Do you remember that this is the most ambitious crossover in history meme? That came out at the time of Infinity War, which at the time was the biggest crossover in history. It was combining 20 separate movies, well, okay, somewhat separate movies, into one storyline. That had never been done before. Nothing like it had ever been attempted. But since then, there has been one that has completely decimated that movie's ambitious crossover-ness. That works. Because at the same time, there was another crossover that was brewing. One that would eventually completely blow Avengers out of the water just solely based on the scope of it alone. Not only on just the cast of characters that you see, but also just kind of this new wave that we're only really seeing now of multiverses existing in almost every property. So that kind of bears the question of what is the most ambitious crossover in history now? It's meme to death, but the answer is obviously Fortnite. And to be fair, you do have some things that can compete with it, like Smash Bros, multiverses, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. But just with the amount of variety in the characters you can choose from, nothing can compete with what Fortnite has going for it. It's a joke to say that Fortnite is one of the biggest crossovers ever made, but it's really hard to disagree with it when most of the clips that you see do have at least 2 characters from completely different IPs interacting with one another. And after thinking about this for a while, and let's be honest, doom scrolling when I'm supposed to be asleep, I know you do it, it did get me thinking, how deep does the Fortnite universe go? So after a lot of Googling, and by that I mean reading the Fortnite fandom wiki, I think I have one of the most comprehensive lists of what exactly is involved in the Fortnite universe and who is involved in that universe. So with that, I give you the breakdown of the Fortnite multiverse. But before I go any deeper, I want to outline exactly what I'm judging as an inclusion in the multiverse. First up, an inclusion in the multiverse only includes when you are able to actually play as one of these characters, not just a reference to something. So for instance, Pokemon got an emote into it. That doesn't mean that the real world is incorporated because you're not able to be her in the game. If one character from a movie or whatever it may be that they're involved in is included in Fortnite, that then means that the entirety of the universe that they are from is also included in Fortnite. If Free Guy was in Fortnite, then that means Pokemon would be in Fortnite because she was definitely in that movie. There was definitely streamers in that movie that did stuff. Was Muso? No, Ninja was in it. Of course Ninja was in it. Was he in it?
Maybe we just stop the killing.
That's your daughter. You know she gets that from you.
Look, I was very out of my body when I watched that movie. I remember Taika Waititi was in it, and for the rest of the night I called him Titty Waitaki. But let's use that example. So if we included the Free Guy universe in Fortnite, I'm not including all of Free Guy's continuity because especially in a movie like that with that amount of references, that could just spiral into research for what I think would be weeks before we finally got down every single thing that movie referenced, then included what those other things that it referenced included it. See, it's too much. It's too much. I'm not doing that. And with that out of the way, let's go through the list. And by list, I mean literally, I have a list. I had to buy a clipboard because it looked way better than me holding 10 pages. Yes, 10 pages of just notes. Let's go through all of the universes involved. The way that this is going to work is I'm going to run through the universes that are included in this multiverse of Fortnite and then just list what season and what chapter the skin came out which made them involved and who exactly is involved. Just so that we can get an idea of how many characters are actually boots on the ground playable in Fortnite. So starting with the Fortnite universe, just things that are canon to the Fortnite universe. In chapter 2, season 6, we were given Harley Quinn, Batman 0, Catwoman 0, and Deathstroke 0. In Season 7, we were given Armored Batman 0, and in Chapter 3, Season 3, we got Spider-Man 0, Wolverine 0, and then lastly, in Season 4, we got Iron Man 0. That made me think, I wonder if all of their origins are the same. I wonder if in this there's still like the person who killed Batman's parents, if Uncle Ben was killed in Fortnite, what else we got here? If Tony Stark was captured by terrorists. The next universe to be included is actually the first universe that Fortnite ever did an actual collaboration with, which was the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So all the way back in the first chapter in Season 4, they added an Infinity Gauntlet which made you be Thanos. I mean, technically that's not really a skin, now that I think about it, but I'm including that because, you know, it was Thanos from Infinity War. That's what that is. That's crossing over into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. In Chapter 2, Season 3, we ended up having Captain Captain America involved. Season 7, it was Loki. Gamora, which, look, I included as MCU. I think it might have been the comics version, but we're just gonna go with this because she definitely exists here. Shang-Chi was definitely in it. Chapter 3, Season 1, we then ended up getting Spider-Man and MJ from No Way Home. There's the first Tom Holland. We then also got Clint Barton and Kate Bishop from the Hawkeye series. In Season 2, we ended up getting Doctor Strange, Moon Knight, and Scarlet Witch. Season 3, we got Thor and Jane. That has to be one of the worst movies I've ever watched. Didn't you like the screaming goats? Weren't they funny? I would have loved a scene in that movie where they shot the screaming goats in the head. That would have been epic. We've also got in Chapter 4, Season 1, Sam Wilson, who came in the full Captain America getup. So that's every inclusion of the MCU in Fortnite. So still, 2 down. What could be bigger than a cinematic universe inclusion? Okay, sweetie. How about the real world? So you get the first hint of the real world in Fortnite in the first chapter, Season 6, because Wreck-It Ralph showed up on a screen at Risky, I think it's Risky Wheels. I didn't write it in there, or Reels. I don't know, they've got a drive-in set up there, which is actually kind of cool. In Season 7, Marshmello did a concert in Fortnite. He was the first to do it. Marshmello was the first to do it. He did a concert in Fortnite, and he had a skin with it.
All right, I want to see everybody doing their favorite emo right now in this drop. Let's go.
So that's the entirety of our reality is now a universe in Fortnite's multiverse. And it doesn't stop there. Season X, I guess they didn't know what they were doing, because I mean, it wasn't even Chapter 1. They just had seasons, and then they went to X for a while, and then they said Chapter 2. But in Chapter 2, in the first season, you had the Star Wars Rise of Skywalker. They did a premiere of a scene from that movie in Fortnite, only to be dwarfed just after by Ninja Blevins being in Fortnite. This man made his way into Fortnite, and you know what? Yeah, so Ninja Fortnite Blevins got added into the game, which is, you know, that happened. And then Season 2, there was a terrible tragedy with Travis Scott. Oh no, that was in real life. That wasn't in Fortnite, sorry. Travis Scott did do a concert in Fortnite though. There was less casualties at that one, even though there was probably a lot more weapons involved. The TV show Punk'd did a feature in Fortnite at the same place that they did like the Wreck-It Ralph just appearing on a screen. They had the TV show Punk'd play 1 episode every hour. Still in Season 2, just after that, the trailer premiere for the movie Tenet. Remember when after COVID, they're like, no, don't worry. Tenet is gonna save cinema. And then Godzilla vs. Kong came out and it made way more money. In Season 3, Kenshi Yonenzu, I apologize for, I don't know how to pronounce. There's a couple of names in here I'm not going to know how to pronounce, especially the real world ones, and when we get to anime. And then we have Aussie Loserfruit. Then in Season 4, we've got Lachlan, another Aussie, I think, or New Zealander, somewhere. He was on Cold Ones. I watched half of it. I didn't really know who he was. In Season 5, we have the Grufuk and Laser Beam. Another Aussie. There are so many Aussies in Fortnite. Why is that? That's like, I didn't even realize that when I was putting this together. That's pretty cool. I like that. In Season 6, we have Neymar, who is a soccer player. Season 7, and this is where it starts getting pretty intense. We have Harry Kane and Marco Reus. I don't know how to say that. They're soccer players. Football players, if you're from bloody England. Booga, who's an esports player. J Balvin, who's a singer, I think. Ariana Grande happened to just make a feature in here. Ariana Grande is an extremely hard act to follow. So those people at Epic Games were sitting there going, who could we get to follow such a great act? Martin Luther King is in Fortnite. Yeah, the civil rights movement is canon in Fortnite. There was an event in Fortnite where you went down, I think it was called like a walk of memories or something like that, and you go down and then you get transported to where MLK is giving his I Have a Dream speech. He may not be a playable character, but I just thought it was interesting to include that Martin Luther King canonically exists in Fortnite. They went from Ariana Grande to Martin Luther King. They're really building this up. What is gonna beat one of the most remembered, most famous, most influential civil rights activists of our time? An Ariana Grande skin called the Spacefarer skin. Look, someone had to follow it up, and they picked good. They picked one. In Chapter 3, Season 1, they have Bruno Mars and Anderson .Paak. Can you tell I don't know who half of these people are? And also Naomi Osaka, who is a Japanese tennis player. Season 2, Chloe Kim, who is a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, was included in the game. Someone called Chica, who is a YouTuber, and another little YouTuber called Ali was included. In Season 3, they introduced John Cena. In Season 4, they added Cypher PK, and in Chapter 4, Season 1, right off the bat, very first person, Mr. Beast. I was so amazed that Mr. Beast was in Fortnite, and then I took a second and went, no, that actually sounds about right. The Kid Laroi is also in Fortnite, which would mean, you know, considering that this is the real world, it links over. The song Stay exists in that world, which I feel like Peter Parker really needed after No Way Home. Oh god, I feel bad about even trying to pronounce this name. The next person after the Kid Laroi is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Sound out the syllables. Antetokounmpo. That kind of sounds like words. Giannis A, who is an NBA player, was included. The last real-life person to be included in Fortnite is Flakes Power, who is a YouTuber. The real world. What can top that? The Marvel Comics can top that. That's right, they came back for round 2! In Chapter 1, Season 8, they had Star-Lord and Black Widow introduced into the world. After that, in Chapter 2, Season 2, they added in Deadpool. Season 4, because I think that was their Nexus event, it was almost only Marvel characters that got added into that. So in Season 4, you had Thor, Jennifer Walters, who is She-Hulk, Groot, Storm, Doctor Doom, Mystique, Tony Stark, and Wolverine, all added just in one, what do they call it, season. In Season 5, they added Captain Marvel, Black Panther, and Taskmaster. In Season 7, they added Thanos again. And in Season 8, they added Jean Grey, but dressed up as her as Dark Phoenix, and Nick Fury. Chapter 3, Season 1, they added Spider-Man, the Green Goblin, Rogue, and Gambit. Season 2, they had MJ and the Prowler. Season 4, they had X-23, or Laura Kinney. I didn't know that was her name. After the Marvel Comics, the next place that they went to was the John Wick universe, when in Chapter 1, Season 9, they added John Wick and Sophia. From there, they actually added the Stranger Things universe, which is really weird because the only people that were added back in Chapter 1, Season 9 were Hopper and Demogorgons. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that they were minors at the time, but it's weird that you couldn't have like Eleven or Mike or any of that core crew in the game. You couldn't play as them. The next universe to be included is the DC Comics, which started in Chapter 1, Season X, which is where they added Batman and Catwoman into the game. From there, in Chapter 2, Season 4, they added the Joker and Poison Ivy. In Season 5, they added Green Arrow and the Flash, which kind of sucks that it wasn't the CW versions of them. In Season 6, they included Raven and Beast Boy, so you know that there was definitely a Discord mod and his kitten playing as those two skins. Actually, that doesn't even work. It would be like some goth GF and some sub boy. In Season 7, they added Superman, Bloodsport, and Wonder Woman. And in Season 8, I'm actually kind of upset that I wasn't playing during this, because I would have loved to have had this skin, actually. This is the Batman Who Laughs, which, if you know nothing about the Batman Who Laughs, it's Batman crossed with the Joker. Go watch some video. They'll do like a 10-minute, 20-minute video of the lore of this character. It's really interesting. I like it a lot. And for the last two added in the DC Comics into Fortnite, it was in Chapter 3, Season 3, adding Starfire and Nia Null, who I've never heard of, but power to them. So after introducing all of these characters from the DC Comics, they then included other characters from the DC Cinematic Universe. First off is in Chapter 2, Season 1 with Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey. Look, it's not like intrinsically linked with the DCU, but like, who cares about any of that continuity anymore because it's all gone. Birds of Prey was something separate. I don't know what's going to be included. Who knows what's going to be included? What the fuck are they doing over there? If you went out of your way to keep up with it, sucked in, so did I, but like sucked in for both of us. In Season 3, they added Aquaman and Black Manta, and in Chapter 3, Season 4, they added Black Adam. That was definitely a movie, wasn't it? So after the introduction of Black Adam, where the hierarchy of power in Fortnite changed, they really needed to scrounge around and think of what could possibly top the most movie that I've ever seen. So they thought about it for a bit, and they're like, okay, the only thing we could do is include Star Wars. So the Star Wars universe got added to the Fortnite multiverse. In Chapter 2, Season 5, they added in The Mandalorian. In Chapter 3, Season 1, they added Boba Fett, Fennec Shand, and why are Wookiee names so hard to say? You're from Kashyyyk. It has like 3 Y's in it already. Stop making your names that complicated. Chrysanthemum. That's actually not that hard to say when you just say it how it's written. In season 2, they added Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have that skin. I'm pretty happy with that. In season 3, they added Darth Vader, which I don't have. I bought the Battle Pass for, but then I went away to America and I didn't get it. And in season 4, they added Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Princess Leia into the game. Now, from here on out, it's going to be a little bit less listing and more just listing the universes, because it starts getting pretty thin on the amount of characters that get added to it. There's not many multiples getting put in. From there, the God of War set of games was included in the multiverse in Chapter 2, Season 5, where they added Kratos, and the Halo games were added, where in Chapter 2, Season 5, they added Master Chief. A lot of these are Chapter 2, Season 5, so just get ready to hear that a lot. The Walking Dead TV show universe was added into Fortnite as well in Chapter 2, Season 5, where they added Daryl and Michonne, and later on in Chapter 2, Season 8, they added Rick Grimes. From there, the Predator universe was then introduced into Fortnite, with Chapter 2, Season 5 adding the Predator. The Terminator universe closely followed in Chapter 2, Season 5, where Sarah Connor and the T-800 were included in the game. Now, I don't know if this is the movie versions of this character or not, but I'd assume it is, considering it came out around the same time. But the G.I. Joe movie universe was included in Chapter 2, Season 5, when Snake Eyes was released, and the character Snake Eyes was included. I'm still waiting for the Weekly Planet to do a podcast on that. Come on. I know it's next week, but like, you know, I'm waiting. They then added the Street Fighter universe. You know those arcade games that you like see occasionally when you go out to a bar and you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that. Yeah, they added that into Fortnite. In Chapter 2, Season 5, they added Ryu and Chun-Li. In Season 7, they added Cammy and Guile. And in Chapter 3, Season 2, they added Sakura and Blanca. From there, they also then included the Aliens franchise of movies. In Chapter 2, Season 5, they added Ripley and the Xenomorph. From there, in Tomb Raider, Chapter 2, Season 6, they added Lara Croft. Horizon Zero Dawn, which that's one of the things where you've heard the name, but you know zero about it. That's me with this game. But that got included into Fortnite in Chapter 2, Season 6, where they added Aloy. Complete left field with this one. I don't know if I'm just out of the loop. The Mistborn book series was introduced into Fortnite in Chapter 2, Season 6, when they added Kelsa? No idea what that is. Seems very odd. I don't think there's another time on here outside of comics that a book series is included. And then after that, Rick and Morty got added to the game. In Chapter 2, Season 7, when they added Rick, and then they added Mecha Morty. They also then included in Chapter 3, Season 4, Queen Summer and Mr. Meeseeks. I can't think of anything more insulting than being in the top 10 and being killed, and Mr. Meeseeks hits the gritty on you. This one on the surface seems like it makes sense, but then you get into the specific of it, and it's weird. So Space Jam is included in the Fortnite universe, which makes sense, you know, movie coming out, everything like that. And it was in Chapter 2, Season 7. But the only person added was LeBron James. Not your Bugs Bunnies, your Daffy Duck, your one with the hot bunny that then was made less male-gazy. None of that's included at all. It's only LeBron James, and you can take off the outfit so that he's just regular LeBron James, I think. Next up is Free Guy. I got you at the very start. I said Free Guy. Oh, tricked you out. Oh. Yeah, so in Chapter 2, Season 7, Dude was added into Fortnite, but this is the exact reason why I said I wasn't going to include all of the universe's continuity. For whatever reason, they had the Bad Boys. You know those set of movies that your dad watches? Because he's like, yeah, they're kind of okay, but now Will Smith slapped Chris Rock, so nobody's really interested in that franchise anymore. Yeah, in Chapter 2, Season 7, they added Mike, who is Will Smith, in the Bad Boys movies into Fortnite. I actually would have loved to have seen that on the day of the slap, how many people were Will Smith in Fortnite. That would have been mad. I think this next one has to be the darkest hour of Fortnite. I hate these movies so much. The Sony Pictures Spider-Man spin-off universe. In Chapter 2, Season 8, Carnage, Eddie Brock, and Venom are all included in it. Thinking of the fact that there was probably a good chance that we're gonna add Morbius into Fortnite. We also have the Universal Pictures Monsters universe. I didn't put in the Dark universe because, like, I'm not doing the Dark universe. Did you hear that? That's my dog. He's having a little shake. The Universal Monsters universe characters that are included in Chapter 2, Season 8. Frankenstein's monster, Mumia, The Mummy, and Frankenstein's Bride. Then they had Dune in Chapter 2, Season 8, where Paul and Chani were added. Then they added Resident Evil characters in Chapter 2, Season 8, with Chris and Jill being included in the game. And then in Chapter 4, Season 2, they added Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield into the game. This one is one of the weirder ones for me, because I've never heard of this before. Some show called Chesperito is canon in the Fortnite universe, which just feels like somebody watched it in the 70s and was like, yeah, I really like that. Let's have my kids enjoy it. So in Chapter 2, Season 8, they added the titular character Chespacito into the game. Chesperito. Oh, did I say that wrong both times? I'm not re-recording it. And then, one that is very dear to my heart gets included. The League of Legends universe, well, okay, debatably the League of Legends universe exists. It's from the Arcane show. In Chapter 2, Season 8, they added Jinx, and in Chapter 3, Season 1, they added V, and they're both the versions of them from the show. But also, I think the Arcane show is still set in the actual, like, League of Legends lore, like the one that you play, so I feel like if I had watched it, I would have a more definitive answer, but I haven't, so I don't. To me, it seems like the entirety of League of Legends happens in Fortnite. And if the League of Legends lore wasn't enough to keep you occupied, how about you watch every episode of Naruto? Because Naruto is also canon in Fortnite. There are so many. There is so much happening in this world. Can you imagine if they try to do a story in Fortnite with this amount of characters? That would be terrible. That would just go down the toilet immediately. In Chapter 2, Season 8, they added Sasuke, Naruto, Kakashi, and Sakura. And in Chapter 3, Season 3, Gaara, Itachi, Orochimaru, and Hinata. I feel like I nailed that. Then after that, you know, they thought maybe we'll just do something a bit more low-key with like 3 or 4 games in it. So they just added the Gears of War universe into the game in Chapter 3, Season 1. They added Kate and Marcus. Then, you know, the Uncharted movie came out. Chapter 3, Season 1, they got Nathan Drake and Chloe Fraser. Speaking of movies that got made, they really made that Assassin's Creed movie, didn't they? If you haven't seen it, don't bother. In Chapter 3, Season 2, they added Ezio and Ivor. The next thing they got included, the RoboCop 1987 movie universe got included into Fortnite. It might have been the entirety of all of RoboCop, because I don't know if the next thing that they did in RoboCop World Land movie, whatever it was, is still inclusive of the first part. I don't know. I don't think it is. But they definitely added that in Chapter 3, Season 2. Also in that, they added one of my favorite things. They added Indiana Jones into this. They just keep coming. The past 2 page turns, I thought that was the end. All right, well, they did the Dragon Ball universe. Dragon Ball is also in Fortnite. This is a lot. These are a lot of words on a page. Chapter 3, Season 3, they added Goku, Vegeta, Bulma, and Beerus. And in Chapter 4, Season 1, they added Gohan and Piccolo. Then they also added, on top of that, Destiny 2. Where did they link? They just put them in. In Chapter 3, Season 3, they added Commander Zavala, Ikari Ray, and the Exo Stranger. You reckon they even look at the crossover of games into this? When it was like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like the DC Comics. I get that. You know, that's pretty broad, and most people who kind of play casual games would be aware of that stuff. Who plays Destiny 2? They then also introduced the animated Spider-Verse, the good Sony version of the Spider-Verse. In Chapter 3, Season 4, they put Spider-Gwen into the game. They also added the Evil Dead universe into this. This is breaking me. This is actually breaking me down. In Chapter 3, Season 4, they added Ash Williams. You know, to break up older franchises, to break that up, they put in the Goat Simulator game universe. In Chapter 3, Season 4, you can play as Pilgor from Goat Simulator 3. They made 3 Goat Simulator games. They then got the Doom franchise added into this. Sorry, the Doom universe. It's a multiverse. It exists in a multiverse. In Chapter 4, Season 1, they added the Doom Slayer into the game, which actually is kind of mad. They then added the Witcher game series into Fortnite as well. In Chapter 4, Season 1, where they added Geralt of Rivia. Immediately after a medieval fantasy game, they then included the My Hero Academia universe in Fortnite. In Chapter 4, Season 1, they included All Might, Izuku Midoriya, Ochako Uraraka, and Katsuki Bakugo. Then, you know, a good one. What could we follow up My Hero Academia with? Chapter 4, Season 1, they added Isaac Clarke from Dead Space. They also added the Rocky movie universe is added into Fortnite. Not with Rocky at all, but in Chapter 4, Season 1, when they added Adonis Creed into it from the Creed movies. And the last one, and again, I'm only saying it's the last one because it's the most recent thing released, and that's the Attack on Titan world. In Chapter 4, Season 2, they added Mikasa and Levi Ackerman into Fortnite from Attack on Titan. And that is a list of every single character that has been boots on the ground in Fortnite. It is the biggest multiverse. It is the most ambitious crossover ever done. And look, because I feel like saying words might not be the best way to emphasize how expansive this universe is, let me put it into this perspective for you and show you every single universe that is existing in Fortnite's multiverse. So the core Fortnite universe exists as itself. That is the real world in this game. That is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Our world, the real world, Marvel Comics, John Wick, Stranger Things, the DC Comics, the DC Cinematic Universe, Star Wars, God of War, the Walking Dead TV show universe, Predator, the Terminator, G.I. Joe, Street Fighter, Alien, Tomb Raider, Horizon Zero Dawn, the Mistborn books, Rick and Morty, Space Jam, Free Guy, Bad Boys, the Sony Pictures Spider-Man spin-off universe, the Universal Pictures Monsters, Dune, Resident Evil, Chespirito, League of Legends, Naruto, Gears of War, the Uncharted movie universe, the Assassin's Creed game universe, the RoboCop 1987 universe, Indiana Jones, Dragon Ball, the Sony animated Spider-Verse, Evil Dead, Goat Simulator, Doom, the Witcher game series, My Hero Academia, Dead Space, the Rocky universe, and Attack on Titan. Even just reading the universe names took a while. And with all of these different franchises being involved, some of them do overlap. So I feel like it does beg the question, who is the most reappearing character in Fortnite? So let's start off with these: Thor, Harley Quinn, Catwoman, Wolverine, MJ, and Ariana Grande. And I know that 2 doesn't seem like a whole heap, but the fact that Ariana Grande has 2 versions of herself running around Fortnite when everyone else is some kind of comic book character, that's a good effort, you know? For a real life person, that is pretty good. That you appear twice in this sought after universe, that she shares the same world as, let's go to a random page, the Lara Crofts of the Fortnite world, or the Rick Grimes of the world, only appear once. Then the only people to have 3 copies of them in all of Fortnite is Spider-Man. So that leaves us with the person who has the most amount of variants in Fortnite, and that is Batman. Batman has 4 copies of himself running around in Fortnite. The craziest thing about all of this as well is that Fortnite is only going to continue to expand its roster of playable characters, and this universe is only going to get bigger. You know what? I don't even think it's that much of a joke to say that Fortnite is actually the most ambitious crossover ever, because the fact that it's managed to get its tentacles into almost every single corner of pop culture, including one of your dad's favorite movies from 1987, that is crazy. That is insane. I think it is astounding that there are so many different characters involved in it. I'm calling it now. The next biggest crossover that's going to happen is the MCU and the DCU in like 10 years once James Gunn actually does stuff with the DC characters. But even then, it will not come close at all to what this kind of crossover is. Look at the amount of universes. Here, I'm going to actually make some space for it. Look at the amount of universes involved in just one game. That is insane. And if you think that that is insane too, and you like the fact that a multiverse like Fortnite exists, even if you don't like the game, you can acknowledge that the fact that that exists is pretty cool. And if you do think it's pretty cool, why not subscribe? Because I read a lot of words on a page. Bye.